We've been waiting all year. It is finally here. We're talking about CMA Fest, some live pictures of downtown right now. We got everything you need to know about having fun and also a safe weekend.
Now, News 2 at 3.
Well, back here at home, hot and humid day today as we enter the second half of this work week. A live look over Antioch right now. It's going to meteorologist Davis Nolan with a look at the forecast. Davis?
Well, hey, Mark, things are going to get a whole lot better overnight tonight as far as that hot and humid is concerned. And that's good news for CMA Fest downtown. There are a few flies in the ointment for the weekend, especially Sunday, but we'll talk about that more in a moment. Right now, you're looking at downtown Nissan Stadium camera and all the stages set up on the Riverfront Park and all the folks sitting on the ledges there and a beautiful sunny day. It is a little toasty out there. We're nice and quiet on our Storm Tracker radar network, and we're just going to see an upper level flow that's going to be out of the northwest. It keeps us fairly dry, except for some of these disturbances that come our way. And one of those may bring us a better rain chance Sunday and only a small rain chance Saturday. But look how warm it is now. 88 degrees, 87 in Murfreesboro, 85 in Clarksville, and 85 in Cookeville, 83 in McMinnville. But the big thing is the humidity is coming down. That dew point, a measure of humidity put to a Fahrenheit scale, still 70 in Winchester. We were in the 70s before, but notice it's dropping the further north and northwest you go, 62 to 63. And that's filtering in overnight tonight. And we think even by daybreak tomorrow morning, you're going to see some temperatures, or I should say dew point temperatures, drop into the 50s. And you'll notice a much lower humidity across the area tomorrow. So this all bodes well for the CMA Fest here in the Nashville area for this evening. If you got some evening plans, it's going to be absolutely delightful with temperatures running in the 80s at first, but the humidity starting to come down with a westerly breeze. And so once the sun goes down, it's going to feel pretty good. About 77 at 9 o'clock, 72 at 11 o'clock, on our way to low 60s for overnight lows. And tomorrow is going to be delightful with very low humidity compared to the last couple of days. We'll talk about that weekend that has to have a few changes in it coming up in a few minutes.
All right, Davis, thank you so much. Well, one of Nashville's biggest weekends, as you just mentioned, is here. Some live pictures of CMA Fest kicking off today. Hundreds of artists on more than half a dozen stages, rocking out now for the next 4 days. And a live look at the riverfront and all the stages set up ready to go in the downtown. Pretty packed right now, too. Let's go to News Nation's Ryan Bass with a preview.
Nashville is practically a madhouse every weekend, but the honky-tonk cranks it up a notch when CMA Fest comes to town. It is the biggest party in country music, and it's all going down across the Cumberland River here from me in downtown Nashville, Lower Broadway, along the river, Nissan Stadium. So much going on as 100,000 people are expected to pack the Music City. This is one of the tentpole events in Nashville. It has really catapulted this city into one of the hotspot tourist destinations in the entire country. Country music's popularity is at an all-time high, according to industry data firm Luminate, which said country on-demand audio streams exceeded 20 billion last year, a nearly 25% jump from 2022. This festival is a celebration of some of the biggest stars in country music, with a footprint that stretches throughout downtown Nashville, bringing artists big and small to multiple stages from today through Sunday. And a lot of the shows are free, yet this festival generates millions of dollars for Nashville's economy.
We have 10 stages throughout our footprint, over 300 artists, playing for fans from 49 countries in all 50 states. So just as always, I think it's going to be a great event here in downtown Nashville. But I think this year's going to be really fun because there's a lot of people playing the festival for the first time.
But you won't find arguably country music's biggest star on any of the CMA Fest stages this weekend. Morgan Wallen was arrested back in April on multiple felony charges after allegedly tossing a chair off the rooftop of a 6-story Broadway bar that nearly hit officers down below. His initial court hearing was postponed until August. He hasn't played at CMA Fest since 2019. But his new bar will very much be an unofficial fixture of the weekend festivities. Wallen's This Bar and Tennessee Kitchen officially opened on June 1st after some roadblocks. A few Metro Nashville councilwomen members voted against approving the bar sign hanging over Lower Broadway, saying they were concerned about Wallen's past incidents. Now, the bar's ownership group, they also had some delays getting their necessary permits, but it finally opened on Saturday and has been slammed basically every night since. I spoke to their GM. He said they had around 25,000 people that came through the first 2 days that Wallen's bar was open, and they set a company record in merchandise sales with $60,000 in one day. Shows you how popular this spot is going to be. Now, while Wallen won't be among the big artists that are going to be playing this weekend at CMA Fest, you're going to see a ton. Plenty are going to be on display, including reigning Entertainer of the Year Lainey Wilson. You've got Keith Urban, Jelly Roll, Luke Bryan, Kelsey Ballerini, Ashley McBride, just to name a few. So the biggest party in country music, it is officially back, and there will be so much fun to be had over the next 4 days here in Nashville, Tennessee.
And in addition to having fun this weekend, safety, of course, top of mind for one organization that plans to help festival goers who plan to drink. Let's go to News 2's Corey Johnson in studio with those details. Corey?
That's right, Mark. It's called Red Frogs. They're a nonprofit group that acts as a global support network, and it's made up of thousands of volunteers. Now, that organization started back in Australia, but it's now nationwide and attends festivals, college parties, and other events, especially ones that involve alcohol. Now, that group aims to reduce the rates of sexual assault, injuries from heavy drinking, unsafe hazing practices, and drug use. They do this by sending out volunteers to identify opportunities where they can help and provide a safe space for people to come to. Now, this is the first year the organization will be at CMA Fest. They have a tent set up on Lower Broadway near the Hard Rock Cafe and work on a referral-based system where if someone needs help, they get them to paramedics or other authorities. Now, today I spoke with Red Frog's National Director Dan Terry, who says it's important to make sure that you enjoy yourself, but also keep safety top of mind.
Every person matters, and we want to be able to be there for people in their times of need. Now, 99% of the time, everyone comes to a music festival and has a great time, but there is that 1% chance that something could go wrong, and we want to be there for each person in those times.
Now, they also are available to help charge your phone, give out water, or even provide a spot for people to just take a minute and relax if they need to. Coming up on News 2 at 4, we'll talk more about Red Frogs and their roving teams that actually help to spot issues before they escalate, as well as meet one man who says the group saved his life years ago. And speaking of CMA Fest, we have a lot of people making their way to the downtown area. Let's take a look at traffic right now. This is I-40 east of Broadway, moving a touch slow for us early on, but that's definitely expected at this hour. Now, we were watching a crash along I-40 east right at exit 209 to 14th Avenue. It does look like that is cleared, so that's definitely good to see, but you'll want to take your time as you make your way downtown because we do have a lot of people in the area. I-65 north, we did have reports of a stalled vehicle right at exit 81 to Wedgwood Avenue. Taking a look at other traffic patterns, this is I-65 north, seeing some stop and go speeds along Rosa L. Park Boulevard, as well as I-24 west at First Street. Other views for you, this is I-40 west of Spence Lane. Now, if you are making your way out toward Antioch, we do have some construction work that is going on east of Antioch Pike near mile marker 55, so you'll want to take your time as that is taking up one lane of traffic, giving you an idea of your drive time. If you're headed out to Murfreesboro on I-24 East, it sits just under an hour at 54 minutes. And don't forget, you can get instant updates and alerts using the free WKRN weather and traffic.
And you're taking a live look over downtown Nashville, where the 2024 CMA Fest is back. And what a beautiful day, but a hot one to be downtown. Meteorologist Davis Nolan joins us now with a look at our CMA weekend forecast.
Hey, Kendall, I got some good news for CMA Fest, especially for tomorrow. It's going to be a whole lot less humid, not quite as hot out there. Boy, you can see everybody having a good time despite the sunshine and the warm temperatures out there at Riverfront Park, all the stages. Look how many people are lined up there on the ledges there at Riverfront Park. And we're quiet on our Storm Tracker radar network right now. We've got a northwesterly flow that over the weekend will bring us a few disturbances in the upper atmosphere. And when they do, the one that comes our way for Saturday looks like it's going to sort of fizzle. So I'm only going to put about a 20, maybe 30% chance at most for Saturday. It's Sunday that we might have one that'll be a little bit wetter. But meanwhile, a beautiful, beautiful weather pattern setting up for tomorrow. We're 88 right now, 87 Murfreesboro, 83 in Shelbyville. The dew points is dropping from 70 in Winchester. They drop to low 60s the further northwest we go. And we've got a front that's going to come through. Now, it's 88 in Nashville, but you say St. Louis is 85. That's not much of a cool down. And no, it's not a big cool down, but look at those dew points. And the dew points are a measure of humidity put to a Fahrenheit scale. And you get used to 60 and 70 degree dew points. That's like New Orleans and Houston. It's very humid. 50s are a whole lot better, and 40s, that's even better. We think we'll at least have 50 degree dew points for our CMA Fest for tomorrow. So if you're heading out that way, folks, it's going to be pretty delightful for CMA Fest for your evening. It's going to be a little warm out there right now, but if the humidity's coming down little by little this evening, when the sun sets, it'll be down to 77 degrees pretty quickly and a comfortable 72 at 11 o'clock. So with the sun going down, things are going to feel a whole lot better out there. And tomorrow is going to be absolutely gorgeous. We'll look ahead to the weekend forecast, your 7-day outlook coming up.
All right, Davis, thank you. Well, speaking of CMA Fest, we know one person, well, actually two, who are out having a good time right now, checking out the live music, all the fun CMA Fest activities. We got our photojournalist Hector. We got News 2 Stephanie Langston out there right now. And Stephanie, I understand you had a chance to already speak to one music legend.
Well, I'll tell you what, Mark, when you can start your morning with the Queen, Dolly, and then chat with rock royalty John Bon Jovi before dinner, I'd say it's a pretty memorable day, and that's really what CMA Fest is all about. Right now, we are on the rooftop of the newest and tallest bar in downtown Nashville, JBJ's, to give you a bird's eye view of some of that action for CMA Fest going on in the streets of downtown Nashville. Now, it doesn't look too wild, but there are 10 stages with the CMA footprint and then individual events going on, of course, inside many of these bars. So this morning, fans lined up to see their favorite artists before the sun started rising, and it paid off for those Dolly fans.
They just use your mind and they never give you credit. It's a
As you can imagine, fans wrapped around the massive Music City Center as Dolly kicked off a Fanfare X, sitting down for a Q&A to talk about working well past 9 to 5 with plans for a musical, a Nashville hotel, a museum, and a line of wines all in the works. And of course, with a schedule like that, it's no surprise it's been more than a decade since she last appeared at CMA Fest.
I was thinking back about the first time that I was ever at Fanfare. You know, they used to hold it over on our fairgrounds here. And all those years ago, I had my own little booth. And my sister Cassie was the head of my fan club. And we would sign every picture, take every picture anybody wanted. And I remember one time it came a big storm, and it just swept our whole stuff away. Pretty much swept us away, and it swept me right back to you right now.
If you missed Dolly, her all-access pop-up experience is set up in the Music City Center all weekend. Now back to Bon Jovi. Well, he just gave us a tour here of his restaurant and bar. We're going to show you around and hear from him coming up on News 2 at 6. Reporting live from downtown Nashville, Stephanie Langston, News 2.
The Red Frogs, a national nonprofit with a focus on prevention, brings a new layer of attention to the way Nashville addresses critical safety concerns. It happens as thousands descend on Music City for the annual CMA Fest.
Just months after the death of Missouri student Riley Strain, nonprofit leaders say they want to be available for the people during this CMA weekend filled with crowd-filling events. News 2's Corey Johnson joins us now in studio to explain. Corey?
That's right, Bob and Haley. The Red Frogs USA use early intervention strategies to help prevent instances of injuries from heavy drinking, sexual assault, and drug use. Now, they also are available to help with other needs like charging phones, giving water, and providing a spot for people to sit and relax if they need to. Volunteers help connect people with paramedics and other first responders as well. Now, the nonprofit got its start in Australia nearly 30 years ago, and within the last year have grown to have a presence here in Nashville. This is the first time that they'll be at CMA Fest, and you can look for their tent on Lower Broadway near the Hard Rock Cafe. Now, following the Riley Strain case, the nonprofit's national director says it was important for them to be at CMA Fest this year and provide an extra layer of safety in an alcohol-fueled environment.
One death or one assault is one too many, and we really believe it's an important thing to have Red Frogs here in Nashville and downtown, whether it be on a weekly basis or at big events. It's so crucial and vital to make sure that those incidents, those tragedies never happen again. We exist to be the fence at the top of the cliff, not the ambulance at the bottom.
And there will be dozens of Red Frog volunteers at CMA Fest starting today, and some of them will work in roving teams that will be walking around in vests with frogs on them, trying to identify people who may be struggling or are too drunk and need some water, their phone has died, or they're even lost. Now, for more information on the Red Frogs, make sure to look for the story on our website, WKRN.com. Bob?
Thank you, Corey. If you are headed to CMA Fest this week, have a safety plan in place. There will be 6 medical tents on site, 5 ambulances will be on standby. You may want to kick off the boots for a while and wear some comfortable shoes, as well as keep hydrated. It's going to be warm. There will be multiple refill stations set up around the festival site.
Rain is in the forecast at times throughout the weekend. CMA Fest has a number of designated shelters for fans if bad weather threatens the event. They include Bridgestone Arena, the Music City Center and its parking garage, and the underground garage of the Hilton Hotel. The CMA will use its social media platforms to keep fans updated about any weather-related delays. Now, we will have live reports from Nissan Stadium every night during the big concerts that happened at the evening. And don't forget that TV special hosted by Jelly Roll and Aisling McBride. That will air June 25th right here on News 2.
Thank you. Outside, it's a warm day to start off the CMA Music Fest, but a beautiful sunshine out there. Not going to be quite as warm throughout the rest of the weekend. Let's check in with Davis.
Yeah, Bob, we got some pretty good news as far as the weather's concerned, especially for
Well, the stars and the fans have arrived for the start of the biggest event in country music.
And as you just saw there, that was John Bon Jovi, whose new bar on Lower Broadway opened today. News 2's Stephanie Langston has been getting a first-hand look at all of the action on day one of the festivities.
That's right. We just landed at Nissan Stadium, where the doors officially open for night one of CMA Music Fest in about a half hour now. But it has already been a memorable day, from country royalty Dolly kicking the morning off at Fanfare X over at Music City Center, to rock royalty John Bon Jovi opening the doors to his new restaurant and bar on Broadway, JBJ's, known as the tallest building now on Lower Broad. The frontman for the Grammy Award-winning band has roots that run deep here in Music City, saying he finally has a place to call home.
These are my people. You know, if you think of Hollywood as the actors community, Nashville is the musicians community. It seems wherever you go, there's another great writer, another great player, somebody aspiring to, have their own bar on Broadway someday. And I've been attracted to that for 35 years now.
And you got a pretty good neighbor. I mean, Garth.
Yeah, I know. The new kids on the block aren't so bad, right? Yeah, 2 old vets next door to each other. It'll liven up the place for a week or two.
Now, the bar officially opened this afternoon, of course, just in time for CMA Fest. Back out live now, you can see that again, they are gearing up to open up the stadium for night one. And speaking of rock, Southern rockers Lynyrd Skynyrd will be headlining tonight. Also on the bill, Aisling McBride and Thomas Rhett. Of course, we're going to have all of your highlights for you right here on News 2 at 10. Reporting live from the stadium, Stephanie Langston, News 2.
Thank you, Steph. Let's take you back downtown. A live look at Lower Broadway. You can see the folks on the rooftops and filling Broadway, getting ready for the concerts later tonight over at Nissan Stadium. Let's take a look at the forecast and check in with Davis.
Hey, Bob, we got some fairly good news. A nice evening. It's been a little toasty today, but once the sun goes down, we'll drop into the 70s pretty quickly. It'll be pretty comfortable. Now, Friday is going to be a delightful day. Lower humidity is going to be pushing in, along with a refreshing northwesterly breeze. Manage about 84 for a high. Now, Saturday, we do have a rain chance, but it's very small, only about 20 to at worst 30% on Saturday for a quick, brief moving shower. Now, it is Sunday that we anticipate the best chance for some off and on showers and thunder showers over the weekend, though I think most of them will be gone by the evening festivities on Sunday night. Right now, there's a live view of our Nissan Stadium cameras showing all the stages there on the Riverfront Park and the terraces there that people have a chance to sit on. Of course, they're over at Nissan Stadium in the evenings. We're pretty quiet on our Storm Tracker radar network now. 87 right now. We've been 89 on the hourly reports, but notice the lower dew points, which means lower humidity filtering in. We're dropping to the 50s.
The 2024 CMA Fest is well underway tonight, with fans enjoying all things country music. A live look now at Lower Broadway from our Bridgestone Arena camera. You can see the folks on Broadway, the rooftops, and a lot more across the river.
Yes, and they are at Nissan Stadium. Thomas Rhett is about to take the stage. News 2's Stephanie Langston is there. We will check in with her in just a moment, but first, a look at the forecast for the rest of the festival with Davis.
Well, some really good news for tomorrow. We've got lower humidity pushing in overnight tonight, and tomorrow is going to be a delightful day. Mid-80s for highs, but a fresh northwesterly breeze and lower humidity will feel really nice. Now, Saturday, we do have a small rain chance, but only maybe a few brief showers around mid-morning to midday. Really don't think it's going to amount to much. We're keeping those chances at about 20 to at most 30%. Now, the best chance for rain and storms will probably be off and on Sunday, about 79 to near 80 for a high. then. We don't sort of think that most of the storms and rain will be tapering off by the evening hours Sunday, so they may be able to get the evening festivities underway then. Live look at downtown Nashville, all the city lights reflecting off the Cumberland River, and of course behind this camera, a big concert going on right now at Nissan Stadium. And we're pretty quiet on Storm Track.
A jam-packed day of all things country music.
From Dolly Parton and John Bon Jovi, and now Thomas Rhett and Leonard Skinner. They are taking the stage at Nissan Stadium. News 2's Stephanie Langston has been live all day with a look at day one of CMA Fest. Steph.
Well, guys, with 50 years of the Country Music Festival now in the books, the next 50 are officially underway. Take a look at this crowd here at Nissan Stadium, where Ashley McBryde just wrapped up her set, which included a surprise collaboration with Gretchen Wilson and her hit Redneck Woman, which, of course, wowed the crowd. But it's hard to top the Queen of Country, who kicked the day off at Fanfare X.
Hello! CMA Fan Fest! How's everybody doing? Good.
Dolly taking the cake, proving she works well beyond 9 to 5, with a musical, a line of wines, a Nashville hotel, and a docuseries among her laundry list of projects in the works, with no sign of slowing down.
Thank you so much, CMA Fest!
The 51st annual CMA Fest featuring 300 artists playing for fans from 49 countries in all 50 states, known for showcasing the artists of tomorrow while honoring the legends of our past.
And I will always love you. I will always love you. Thank you.
All right, who else has chills from that? Gotta love Dolly. Now, as you mentioned, Southern rockers Leonard Skinner are expected to headline at night one here at Nissan Stadium. And then, of course, the music gets cranked back up at 9 o'clock in the morning at Riverfront. And we're going to have all your coverage all day long tomorrow, again, right here on News 2. Reporting from Nissan Stadium, Stephanie Langston, News 2.
9 a.m. is going to come early for all these party goers. Well, the fun has just begun, of course, for CMA Fest, but one group is doing its part to keep festival goers safe. A nonprofit called Red Frogs USA aims to provide a safe space for people to go during these big types of events. Their goal is to reduce instances of sexual assault, unsafe drug use, and injuries from heavy drinking. The organization has spread nationwide since its inception in Australia in 1997, and this is their first CMA Fest.
Every person matters, and we want to be able to be there for people in their times of need. Now, 99% of the time, everyone comes to a music festival and has a great time, but there is that 1% chance that something could go wrong, and we want to be there for each person in those times.
The organization is made up of more than 5,000 volunteers across 10 countries. They have a tent set up on Lower Broadway near the Hard Rock Cafe.
Guitars and breakfast, 9 a.m. on the riverfront tomorrow.
Goodness.
Huh? Well, Nashville